Welcome to the I Rock Kentucky Blue podcast. My name is Rich the Bull, and I'm here with my co-host, Bravo.
What's up, baby?
I'm about to say what up to the crowd, Bravo.
What it do?
Uh, this is a pod to talk about all things Kentucky basketball, um, whether it's recruiting, the scores for the week, the scores for next week, or not the scores for next week, the matchups for next week, and anything else that's Kentucky basketball. So, Bravo, I'm gonna kick it off to you to give us the scores for the game against Bellarmine and the game against Michigan this week.
All right, bet. So we had two games this week. Tuesday night, we got a W over Bellarmine, 60-41. Game was a lot closer than I'd like it to have been. I mean, I know we won by 19, but if we keep it all the way real, that's a team we should beat by 50 every now and again. But Bellarmine has a lot of ball movement, which is tough for any team to play against. I can't say they did beat Louisville and they didn't beat us, so that's something we can hang our hat on. During that game, leading scorer was Antonio Reeves. He had 18 points. He's actually our leading scorer on the year, averaging at about 15 a game. Leading rebounder, I'm sure you can guess who that was. Don't be Oscar every single game. He had 12 boards that game, and leading assist man was Severe Wheeler. He's at 6 assists and averaging 7.3 on the season. Today's game was a much tighter contest. We had Michigan today. It was actually a good game. We came out with the W, 73-69, 4-point win. We had Cason Wallace and Jacob Toppin actually tied for the leading scorer. Both had 14 points. Again, leading rebounder was Oscar. He had 14 boards today. And again, leading assist man was Severe. He had 7 hitting the season average. Much more tightly contested game, but overall, I'm just happy that we came out the week 2-0. Rick, I'll kick it back to you. We can talk about some concerns and some things we saw via both games this week.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna echo your sentiments in the Bellarmine game. I think me and you was talking about it in the first half. It was definitely a lot closer than what we thought it was gonna be. But again, like you can't. It's hard to go against really good fundamental teams, bro. Like when you play a team, and that's why Louisville, not only Louisville, they just play good against everybody. Like they're well coached, and I mean, I was talking to somebody, bro. Like there was a couple possessions where they didn't even dribble the ball, bro. It was just all passes until they got open. So I feel like we opened it up in the second half. Reeves started hitting some shots. Frederick started hitting some shots. And everybody just started playing cohesive. And I feel like with that led us to the game today against Michigan. I was watching the game from a bar, and everybody just played well, man. And I feel like Cason Wallace really stepped up towards the end. He had a couple threes in the second half, and I was like, yeah, we really needed those. And in my opinion, like I feel like Antonio Reeves finally stepped up against someone that's not, like a lower class team, because we've been beating these smaller teams, but when it's been like Michigan State or Gonzaga, Reeves hasn't really showed up. But today, he was 3 for 3 from the three, I think, in the first half, and then he hit a 3 in the second half, and he finished with 11 points. But I was definitely impressed by that win. And Oscar, being Oscar, he had his normal double-double. I think we got a lot of momentum. I really think that second half against Bellarmine, bro, like really gelled everybody together, and they understand what we really needed to win games, bro. And I think like every UK fan says, I really think we about to take off. So definitely a good win, definitely a good week for us, man. We won both our games. And some things that concerns me though. CJ Frederick is still not been as advertised, unfortunately. I know he sat out all last year, but you know what? Coming into the season, he was known as the 3-point shooter. He was the sniper. He had the clip. He was shooting, I think, 46% from three when he was at Iowa. So when he showed up to Kentucky, we was like, oh, that's that 3-point shooter that we need. And he plays pretty good against, like I said, the teams that ain't big, the big teams, but he hasn't really showed up against the teams that we really need him to show up for. So he's really concerned me. The other person that's really concerned me, and I think there's a reasoning, and I've been like taking up for this kid a lot lately because there's a lot of people that I'm friends with that are UK fans, and they kind of been down on him. Is Damian Collins. Damian Collins, his father passed away. That's tough, bro. Like to be
Yeah.
18, 19 years old and to lose your father unexpectedly, to like have to come back and just and play it on with us at a high level. It's just hard to do, bro. So,
No,
what you say?
I said no. I agree.
Yeah, like I just think that's hard to do. Um, and I wouldn't even be hard on Chris Livingston either. I just don't think I think you said this, Bravo. Like he just really hasn't been given the opportunity that he needs to get. He played 7 minutes today against Michigan. I just want to see what he can do. I just don't. What my concern is a lot of times is we don't give these players enough time to develop in our system, and then after 1 year they get discouraged and they want to transfer. I think that's what happened with Bryce Hopkins. That's what happened with Juzang, and they go out and do something else. I just want everybody to get the chance. So the main person I'm really down on is CJ Frederick. Now, who I'm high on, I think Jacob Toppin's mid-range game has really surprised me, bro. Like he's got bro, not a lot of people shoot mid-range shots, but he found his niche with that. And like, bro, he's really knocking them down. So I'm definitely impressed with that. Oscar's being Oscar. I think he's just been out of shape. And once he gets into shape, bro, he's gonna return to form. Like he's been out all preseason. And I've said it from the beginning, bro. Like the person I'm really highest on is Cason Wallace. I think he's the best player on the team. He's a dog on defense. He's a general on offense. Like I would like it for him to be more aggressive. 4 for 4 from 3-pointer against Michigan, bro. Like who was expecting that? So I was definitely impressed with Cason. So I'm gonna kick it to you, Bravo. You tell me some people that you might be concerned about and some people that you're really high on.
Okay. So I mean, again, Bellarmine game, like I said, wasn't really a whole lot to take from that. Like we took off on them in the second half. I agree with what you said. I feel like the team gelled a lot in the second half. I think we might have found a little something there. I feel like Cal's still trying to find his rotations. And I think as a result of that, a lot of guys aren't necessarily getting the minutes that we expected them to get. I think the Michigan game was a better evaluator on like where a couple of guys are. So for me, with Antonio Reeves, I don't think it's a matter of not showing up. I just felt like in some of the earlier games, he didn't get the opportunity, like the Michigan State game. Cal even came back after the game and said, I should have played Antonio Reeves more. I also feel like with the type of player he is, we need to be running sets for Antonio Reeves. Like he is a exceptional cat. Antonio Reeves is what they told us that Frederick was going to be. Right. He's the shooter that they told us CJ Frederick was going to be. He's exceptional off the catch and shoot. He gets it up quick. I think we should run some more screen action. Like I think they would benefit from watching some film on Golden State and how they move Steph Curry around. Do that with Antonio Reeves to get him some open looks, which will also end up opening up some stuff for other guys. Like I would love some screen action to get Jacob Toppin some lobs because the man's a super athlete, bro. Like I feel like stuff like that would help him build his confidence and he'd get more aggressive if he had like actual plays run for him. But yeah, I like Antonio Reeves a lot. I feel like he's a pro guard. Cason Wallace, I agree with everything you said about him. He's a dog. And I said to somebody earlier in the week as we were discussing Kentucky, I'm like, man, I feel like Cason Wallace, if we take him off the ball and let him play more 2 guard than 1, he's going to take off. And I think we're about to see that happen. And I think that's going to be a big difference. And of course, you know, he's a stopper on defense, bro. Like he's an absolute dog on the defensive end. And it's like, that's a blessing because 1, he's a young guy and it's hard to get young guys to buy in on defense. So I love that he has that mentality. Like, I'm not just going to score on you, but I want to shut your best man down.
Right.
The Damian Collins thing, man, looks like you said, bro, we got to give him some grace. Like he's the kid. He just lost his father, man. So he's probably honestly not mentally all the way there, but you know, he's another guy just like Toppin. He's a super athlete. I feel like it's some things we could run some screen action to get him some lobs, man, get him some easy looks. So help his confidence and maybe get him back into the game. I even think Cal tried to do that today because I don't know if anybody noticed, but he started Collins the second half over Toppin. I don't know if that was more of I'm trying to help out Collins or if I'm putting Toppin in my doghouse for not playing well in the first. But yeah, I agree with that. CJ Frederick, man, I said it at the beginning of the year. You was arguing, you argued with me a little bit. He's like, nah, you got. But I said it. I'm like, bro, he is not. He just like every game we play against the no-name teams, he's lighting up. The
Yeah.
lights get big, and he disappears every single time. And today, it wasn't even a matter of like he didn't get good looks, because he had a couple of good looks, and he just ain't knocking them down, bro. And I just like it's Kellen Grady all over again. Kellen Grady was fantastic against no-name teams. But whenever we needed him in the big games, he was a no-show. And I feel like CJ Frederick is that all over again. On top of that, he can't guard.
Right.
Like, it's like you a defensive liability, and then you can't even do the one thing that we expect you to do. Like, what you on the court for? So
Right.
I feel like that's a situation I keep my eyes on as we get a little deeper into the season, because, Cal is huge on defense. And if you can't guard, you're coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my next point on Chris Livingston. So as I mentioned earlier, we was talking in our chat, man, Chris Livingston reminds me a lot of Alex Poitras.
Right.
He's big as Alex Poitras was, but they got the same type of build. I feel like he's just as athletic. I think he could be a defensive stopper like Alex Poitras was. The only thing is, when I watch him sometimes in games, he gets lost on defense. He ball watches a lot, so he loses his man. His guys end up getting open looks, but he does play hard, so I will give him that.
Absolutely.
I think for him to really like get into the swing of things, I think he needs to find his role. I don't really think it's a matter of like he's not showing up. I just don't think he knows where he fits in on this team. Like, what does he do? Because, it's hard for kids to come from being a star player. He was a Mr. Basketball in 2 separate states.
He's a top 20 recruit.
Yeah, top 10 recruit. You come here and you're not even a third, fourth option. Like, you coming off the bench, and you're not really even an option when you coming off the bench. So I think it's a matter of he has to find his place within this team. And I think once he does that, I think we'll see a little bit more from him. But I really think he can be a really, really, really big factor on the defensive end, which brings me to my last point. We need to play on I can't even say his name right.
Ugonna. I'm not going to try to pronounce the last name, but I know his first name was Ugonna.
Ugonna Onyense. I think it's Onyense.
Bro, it was like Ugonna Kingsley at first, and then they added the last name again. I'm like, I'm cool, bro. I'm just going to go.
Yeah, I think it's like Onyense. I'm going to go with that. It's probably wrong, but we just going to call him Ugonna. So I feel like, honestly, I think I would see what he looks like with him and Oscar in the game at the same time. Because when I look at Ugonna, I feel like offensively, I think he's got a little bit more in his bag than what Oscar does. Because he got a great touch on his jump shot. He has more overall touch, period, than Oscar does. Oscar's a bruiser. Oscar's old school basketball. Ugonna's more new school, bro. He got a lot of touch. He's long, and if you just watch him, bro, he moves very well for a really big kid. He needs a little bit of work on his shot block. He's long. He has that length and athleticism that's going to get him some shot blocking just naturally. But once he learns how to actually time shots and how to be disciplined on when he's jumping for the ball, that kid can be a monster, bro. I think we need to play him more. We didn't see a lot of Lance Ware today. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm not even mad about it, because Lance Ware gets on my nerves, bro. Pisses me off so bad, because he has a low basketball IQ to me, man.
Yeah.
Like, he hustles. I love his hustle. I love how hard he plays, man, but he just don't make good decisions when he's on the court a lot of the times, and it just blows my mind.
Yeah.
Last thing, and I'll get off of this game. My one concern, and it's always going to be a concern, free throw shooting. We shot 50% as a team from the free throw line today. And I ain't going to lie, I got nervous when Casey went to the line down the stretch, and he missed those 2 free throws. And I'm like, Jesus, do not let them come down here.
Michigan State all over again, bro.
Bro, literally. So that's going to be my concern until we get consistent. Even if we can just hit 72 to 75%, I think we'll be okay. But 50%, that's unacceptable as a team, bro. Absolutely unacceptable.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, man. And it seems like every year we just has to have that. We have to have that one player that just has to gel in with like you was talking about with Livingston. We had that one player that we really just need to gel in with the team and find a role with the team. And typically we get that. I think Livingston's going to definitely find it, because I think he's a smart kid. I think he's a smart basketball player. So I'm not really worried about him. And I completely agree with you on Ugonna. When going into this game today, bro, I was completely thinking about Michigan has that 7-2 guy. I'm like, is Cal going to finally let Ugonna play See what he has. I mean, he's tall. He has that length. Kind of give the 7'2" guy fits. I don't know what the guy's name is, but I'm really glad that Kyle really kind of let Ugonna loose a little bit. And hopefully that he trends up and they put him in more games, not just against the tall guys. Let's see what he has. He's young, man. We know he's coming back next year. Kind of let him get that under his belt and let him continue to progress. And then also the Lance Ware, man. Lance, it ain't no shot at you, bro. We just want you to play, man. We just want you to play better. And you show signs. You're a big man. Just keep doing your thing and trying to be a big man. I really hope Cal really starts to look at playing Adu a little more. Adu Thiero.
Yeah, that's another guy, bro. He's a very interesting player, dog, because I feel like he has a lot to offer because he's long. He has decent handle.
Yes.
For it, he can slash. He's a decent shooter. Like, I think he got a full bag of things, and I just don't understand why he can't get on the floor. And I feel like he's a pretty decent defender. So I don't know, man. That's like one of my biggest issues that I've always had with Cal, and I'm a Cal defender, have always been, is just like, I don't understand his rotations. Sometimes.
Right.
It's like you scream defense, 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 but you got guys that are defensive players, and you don't give them any burn. Right. Meanwhile, a guy like C.J. Frederick, who ain't hitting shots and can't guard a statue, keeps getting in the game. So it's like, don't talk about it if you ain't gonna be about it, bro. Like, right. You got to keep in mind, like, man, if you want to keep some of these guys around, like, give them an opportunity to show you what they can do. But it's just, I get it. It's the nature of the beast now. Like, kids come to go. That's just the reality of the situations now. But I feel like we could have some of that die down if we actually let these kids get a little bit of shine. Like, I ain't telling you gonna come over here and be a superstar, but see what he got, man. Like, give him a shot. Like, let him go in there on the big stage. Like, you don't know if you don't try.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't know. I get a little frustrated with some of the rotations, but hey, I ain't a college basketball coach. I'm just a spectator. I feel like there's guys we could play over other guys.
For sure. I agree 100%. He kind of reminds me of Dominique Hawkins.
Yeah.
I think he has more talent than Dominique, but he kind of reminds me of him. Just a scrappy kid. He's in the right places at the right time. He makes the smart plays, and he's a freshman, bro. So like, he ain't gonna do nothing but continue to go up. Before I go to the next subject, I was in a area with Darius Miller last night. Darius Miller was with us last night, and we was talking about this team. Shout out to Darius. He was like, his main thing was that most of the fan base is down on this team because we've lost 2 games against big name teams or whatever. And he kind of made a great point. He was like, who's good in college this year? All the big name teams aren't really taking off. North Carolina's lost some games. Duke's lost some games. Gonzaga's lost some games. Houston's undefeated, but who has Houston played?
Exactly.
So we don't really, it's early. And what I asked UK fans to do, man, is like I say every year, and I know, it's a broken record, but it's really hard to win a college championship. It's really hard to win a college basketball championship. Be patient and let the team gel, man. I think we got some dogs on this team, and I think moving forward, man, we're going to really start to see it. But moving on to the next subject, for next week, we only got 1 game, and it's next Saturday. I think
we got 2.
Nah, do we? I see one on December the 10th.
We play Yale.
Yeah, on December the 10th. Who else
and then we got UCLA on Saturday.
No, the 10th is a Saturday, bro. Yale's December the 10th.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's one of those it's one of those weeks, around the holidays, man, the games start to get a little slim, like Christmas holiday. So even next week we only got 1 game. It's the UCLA game on the 17th.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so like after the holidays, it'll start to pick up because SEC play. But we play Yale. You can't never look past the team, regardless of who you play. We lost to St. Peter's last year. Let's be honest. You can't,
nobody.
Yeah, you can't look past the team. Currently, looking at ESPN, they got us as like a 90% chance to win. But Yale's 8-1. So
and it's an Ivy League school, and smart basketball players are always dangerous.
It's Bellarmine with the Ivy League feel, bro. That's what it is. So I'm definitely not looking past him. I expect us to win. I also think I really think it's really good that Cal puts us against some of these teams that's not really like high end. We have all these high end games, but to like space it out to be like, all right, we play mediocre team, big team, mediocre team, mediocre, because you're trying to figure out who's here, like who's going to be my lineup, who's here to play. You keep giving people chances to see where they really going to be at. And then when it starts to get SEC play, you're like, all right, this is what I got. This is what I've saw
Yeah.
previously. So this is who I'm going to play. So I really like how Cal scheduled us this year. Well, Louisville was supposed to be a big game, but they 0-10. They really 0-9, but I always say I always had that extra one because they swore up and down they were getting DJ Wagner. So that's a L in my book every time.
You know what? It's crazy. It's weird, bro, because I enjoy beating Louisville. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. It won't even be fun this year because they've looked so bad, bro. Like,
Yeah.
0-8 is terrible, but to your point with the schedule, I like the way we're scheduled this year because we play teams that play a lot of different styles of basketball. Right. And I think down the road, once we get into tournament time, I think that's going to help us a lot as far as like just being prepared for anything.
Right.
So instead of playing like the big name teams, because I feel like a lot of the big name teams, yeah, they got their own styles, they have their way they play, but a lot of times, you up against talent that's just as good as yours.
Right.
It's those little teams that run those that are super disciplined, like a Bellarmine, or probably what we're going to see in Yale, who's going to have a million backdoor cuts and pass the ball a lot. Like those are the teams that end up tripping you up in March, as we saw last year against St. Peter's. Like, I feel like Cal took that loss personally.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why he's scheduled the way he's scheduled, because we play teams with a lot of different styles of basketball this year. And I appreciate that. I also appreciate, like, even though people get mad, myself included, that we lose some of these big games, I appreciate the fact that he doesn't run from it. Because what you can't say is Cal makes a cupcake schedule, because he doesn't. Like, he's going to go out there and play the big name teams. He's not running from the competition. So I can appreciate that about him.
Yeah, man. I think I definitely agree with you, man. I rock with Cal, man. I hate that every year, like, Cal's got to go. Like I said, like right before I went to my point previously, bro, it's really hard to win a college championship. It's really hard. And there's been random Virginia's won a championship. No slander to Virginia, but like Villanova won too. Like, bro, it's just, you just never know, man. Teams get hot in March, and the teams you think that's going to be there at the end, man, it's like you got those other teams that just win their conference tournament and they just on a streak, and you just never know. So, we've had some bad luck. I genuinely think this team can win a championship. They just have some gelling to do. And speaking of championships, man, I think I said to you before the season started, bro, we about to win 9 and 10. The reason why I said we gonna win 10 because it's next year's team recruiting, bro. That's our next subject is the recruiting. So next year we got DJ Wagner, number one player. We got Justin Edwards coming
number
in.
2.
We got Aaron Bradshaw coming in.
Top 10.
Yep, and then we got who's the other? We got Reed Shepherd. We got Reed Shepherd,
and then
how can I forget about my dog, the mixtape legend, man, the A1 mixtape legend, Rob Dillingham, man,
bro.
He coming in too. What you think, bro? What you think about next year?
I'm looking at the recruiting class we coming in. I'm thinking, like, because at the end of the year, it's always going to be some exit with guys transferring out,
absolutely,
and guys testing out the league. So I'm curious to see how we're going to fill out the rest of the roster, because this recruiting class is very guard heavy. Mm-hmm. And then you got Aaron Bradshaw. He's a 7-footer, which is going to be a problem because we can keep Ugana and we bring Aaron Bradshaw.
Twin Towers, bro.
We're going to be long. And then I'm honestly excited to see this backcourt. Mm-hmm. With Dillingham and DJ Wagner.
And one mixtape, bro.
That's gonna be prime time right there, bro.
Yeah.
That's gonna be prime.
And one mixtape.
But yeah, so the 2023 class is locked. I feel like, depending on what the departures look like at the end of the season, we'll probably go and get some guys out of the transfer portal. And with us being UK, we can always get some good guys in the portal. But just to take a look at early look at the 2024 recruits, and you got a lot of info, just a list of guys that we've offered so far. Kid named Ian Jackson, he's a combo guard.
Yep.
You got a kid named well, I was looking at the ratings. He recently dropped down, I think, to like number 2 or 3.
Okay. Okay.
We got Ace Bailey, power forward. We got Carter Knox. Kevin Knox is a little brother.
He coming, bro. He
Oh yeah,
coming.
we can lock him up. You know, he's
Yeah.
trying to be a lineage recruit, so he'll be here. He a wing. We got another point guard, Boogie Flan. Hey, your nickname Boogie, I know you can hoop. So
if your nickname Boogie, you getting down.
if your nickname Boogie, I know you can hoop.
Right.
We got another shooting guard, Isaiah Elohim. I'm the Elohim, the rebirth. Before you get to the father, you gotta holler at me first.
Hey.
We got Tahad Pettyford, another point guard, and then Travis Perry, a homegrown kid. I'm not sure where he's from in Kentucky, but he's from Kentucky. Another point guard. So again, Cal's always going to be heavy on recruiting guards. But yeah, man, I'm super excited about this 2023 class, and that combined with whoever we got coming back and whoever we get in the transfer portal, it's going to be a problem next year. It's going to be a fun team to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. So going back to the 2023 class, bro. With Dillingham, you said it was really guard heavy. With Dillingham and DeJuan Wagner Jr. coming in, obviously Severe Wheeler, he has another year of eligibility because of the COVID year, and I'm not sure he's really high right now on the draft boards. CJ Frederick can come back as well as Antonio Reeves. I think Cason's obviously
gone. Honestly, depending on how the season go, I think Reeves, because Reeves, I'm telling you, man, Reeves is a pro guard to me. Got it written all over. So if I had to just say right now who I can definitely say is gone, Reeves is gone. Cason Wallace is probably gone. Toppin probably going to get out. Well, Toppin's a senior, so he's out.
Oscar, but he can come back too. He can come back too because of COVID year. Yeah, Oscar can come back as well. That's on everybody on this team can come back, bro.
Well, obviously we know everybody ain't coming back though.
Absolutely.
But, damn, I didn't realize everybody could come back. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah. That's why I was gonna ask you, bro. Like, who do you see? I mean, obviously, the obvious to me is Cason. Out of this team, who could you see? Who would you see coming back? Obviously, with the guards, I could see Severe transferring because of what's going on.
Yeah.
And CJ, he's a shooter. I think he would stay with us.
So I think I could definitely see Severe transferring just because, I mean, I don't know if Severe Wheeler's going to get drafted at all. Yeah. Not that he's not a good enough guy to go to the NBA. I just think his size is going to hurt him.
Yeah.
Small. Like, he'll probably be a G League guy or a overseas guy. But, I mean, there could be a dream situation in where Severe can kind of come back and mentor the young guys.
Right.
Because, I mean, you could always go throwback Arizona and go 3-guard offense with Severe and DJ and Rob Dillingham and just run everybody out the gym. Reed Shepard, another legacy recruit. He's supposed to be a shooter. Bring him back. Maybe, CJ Frederick picks it up this year, or, maybe he decides he want to take that extra year because, again, I don't really feel like he has a lot of pro appeal either, especially not doing the one thing that they said you're good at. So as of right now, man, I think it's probably more realistic. Severe transfers and just decides to go like G League or to the across seas. Right. I think Cason Wallace is going to be a first round pick. He's got it. I think Reed
got so much potential, bro.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to be one of those kids that he's going to go to the league, man. He's going to take off.
Yeah.
Reed, I think, is gone. I don't know if he's necessarily solidified to be a first. I feel like, deeper into the season, he could probably end up being like a second round pick.
Right.
Or, could probably play his way up the draft boards if you go to do like some camps and stuff. So I think those three for sure. I think Toppin would leave. I know he would have an extra year, but I just feel like I see Jacob Toppin getting out of here.
Absolutely.
Oscar, I'm not going to lie. I don't know.
I can see it, bro.
I could too, because again, he's another guy, like, I don't really know, like, yeah, he rebounds at a high level, but other than that, outside of like just hustle and rebounding, like, Oscar don't really have like a pro skill set, not for today's NBA, like, because he's undersized for a center, and most guys that play now, they can stretch the floor a little bit from the 4-5. He don't really have that ability, so I don't really know what a pro career looks like for him unless he goes and plays overseas. And I mean, if being real, like, he gonna make more money at UK than he is anywhere else. That we got the NIL deal. So I mean, I don't know. We might see Oscar come back. Obviously, we're gonna get Uganda back. I feel like Livingston, it's gonna depend on what his playing time looks like. I feel like if he don't start getting more burn, he's gonna transfer. I feel the same way about Thiero, even though they actually planned to redshirt Thiero initially,
Yeah.
but they saw him play and he was a lot further ahead of what they thought he was going to be. So they was like, you know what, let's get this kid on the court. But I also feel like, why do that and then not play him?
I think
essentially taking away, like you're taking away a year of eligibility for him for real. Like, you know, if that was the case, I should have just redshirted him like y'all do. So I feel like those two, it just depends on what their roles look like moving forward. Uganda is back for sure. Lance Ware, I mean, what else is Lance Ware gonna do?
Right. But he loves Kentucky though, bro. So I think he's cool with his role.
Yeah, and I appreciate what Lance Ware does. Like, I love how hard. I wish everybody on our team played as hard as Lance Ware plays. He just does questionable things at times. But yeah, I feel like Lance Ware come back. So I feel like, you know, we got another opportunity to have a very deep team next year.
For sure. I definitely agree with that, man. And definitely some good insight on the 2023 as well as the 2024 class. UK fans is just something we can look forward to. I think Cal's back to being swaggy Cal.
For sure.
I think he's recruiting. I think they said this is the best class ever coming in. So we definitely got some excitement looking forward to next year. But let's just fan base, man, let's just hold on with the team, man. Stay tuned, lock into this year. And I think we're going to have a good team. But for sure. So that ends today's pod, man. We want to give a special shout out to Q and the Beyond the Game team for giving us this platform. Me and Bravo showing y'all that we can do more than just fantasy football pods. And y'all going to be hearing from us every week, man. So definitely, if y'all have any questions y'all want to ask us, once this gets posted, definitely put it in the Beyond the Game group on Facebook. And that'll do it. You got anything else for us, Bravo?
All I'll say, man, for all the UK fans that, you know, that always want to bad talk Cal and talk about they tired of this and tired of that. Like, I mean, if we really look at it, man, the run he's had hasn't been bad. I just think our expectations as a fan base are honestly unrealistic at times. And also, just remember, we could be Louisville. So whenever you feel bad about Cal, just remember we could be Louisville.
Yes,
but I'm on that. Also, shout out to my man Don for handling the behind the scenes work today, because we don't know how to operate Zoom that well, but we're gonna get it together.
Absolutely, man. Definitely shout out to Don, man, and I agree with everything you said. So we're gonna holler at y'all next week, man. This will do it for the I Rock Kentucky Blue podcast. And like I said, we'll see y'all next week, man. Signing off.